Oh, right, hello. We're not on the wrong screen. I still can't see YouTube. Sorry.
Oh, that's the only screen I've got. Got that. That's APJ.
No, that's fine, but I can't see if we're live. So on YouTube. Yes, there we go. Sorry? Hang on. Oh my gosh. Hello everybody. Right. Oh, sorry, it's been so manic again today.
Stressed, Eric.
Just upset Louise. Do we really want to see see the picture of you, Louise?
Put my face on there, what are you doing?
Ooh, matron. There we go. Perhaps the gentleman would like to. Anyway, there we go. Let's get
Maybe one day we can start without all this mucking around.
Oh my goodness me. It's been a bit hectic, as you can see. We're just still setting this place up. Why is it always so flipping hectic every single week? Okay, there we go. I think we're all set now, aren't we?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. Sorry, it's the 3:30 has sort of got me a little bit frazzled because I had to get to the post office.
Well, we have been here since about 10 o'clock this morning.
That's no excuse, is it? I need to push this back that way.
We decided, well, we've been doing our click and collect, which has worked out okay, isn't it? Saturday it worked out quite well.
Oh yes.
And it wasn't super busy, but it was busy enough. It was worth us being here, and everybody turned up when they were supposed to turn up. We had a bit of bad weather. A few people rearranged. It was all fine.
Yeah.
Toilet blocked because of the cold weather. It froze. That was okay. That was fine. We managed that. And Susan, don't mention the haircut. Yeah.
Then it went well.
So it went so well. We got home, we opened a bottle of wine, and I was like, we could actually do a bit more click and collect, which was a good idea Saturday night.
It seemed a good idea after a glass of wine or two, didn't it? But so we've been here since 10 o'clock. We've had a few people come in. Obviously, it's not going to be as busy now as the day before Valentine's Day, but at least we're going to be here. How is everybody today? Yes, I'm sporting another lockdown locks or lack of locks. That's good. The lockdown lack of locks. I let Louise loose. Lockdown.
You won't ask me to do it again for a while now. Not because I messed it up, just because there's nothing to cut for a while.
Lockdown lack of locks. Let Louise loose with the loppers, and that's what happened. But it
could be a whole new career for me after lockdown, couldn't it?
You need to get the lingo, you need to get the chatting. Been anywhere on your holidays? Anything planned? And that sort of thing. All right, it's been a bit hectic, so I do apologise. We did put out, we were discussing this, Louise and I have been discussing about a Facebook group for At The Bench members, purely just At The Bench members, or we were discussing about a forum. So I put out an email broadcast last week just to At The Bench members, paid up members, I think it was, asking, would you like a forum? I know forums are quite old-fashioned these days now because you've got your things like social media and so forth, but a forum or a private Facebook group. And we were happy to do either, weren't we? Yeah, and we thought Facebook would be quite good because everyone's on Facebook, but then do we need to have At The Benches like a community, keep everyone together and everyone can chat and it's all together. So it was interesting. I put out a little bit of a form. It was either private Facebook group, an At The Bench forum, or a Don't Mind. And the results are in. So 50% of you, who I think we sent out close to 2,000 emails. 50% of the people who answered wanted a forum dedicated on At The Bench. 34% wanted a Facebook forum, and 16% didn't mind.
Okay.
So basically, there's 16% different. There is, isn't it, between the closed Facebook, and the At The Bench forum. So the At the Bench forum wins.
Okay.
But I was surprised, and I think you were as well, the number, because I said, if you're feeling chatty, just leave a little bit of the reason why you've chosen what you chose.
Yes.
And it was interesting. The majority of people said, I don't do Facebook. I don't have a Facebook account.
But I think people are getting more and more fed up with the adverts, perhaps, and the perceived lack of security, because we've been talking about this in the last week or so as well, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
But don't get me started on that. I'll take
iOS,
the whole hour.
iOS 14 and the adverts.
Don't remind me. We got to sort all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting. And everyone was saying, oh yeah, do it on Facebook, because I'm always on Facebook. And I think that is the problem these days, is that it's like what I quite laugh at with Louise, right? She goes, oh, I must remember to message so-and-so. Gets her phone out. 10 minutes later, I said, did you message her? Oh no, I forgot. I got waylaid and I got taken in by this advert and I've been on Facebook. And I think that is the problem, isn't it? It is a distraction. It can be a distraction, can't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Because not only perhaps you've got a group, but then you will just go here, you'll go there, you'll get an advert, you click on the advert, and you get completely distracted. And that was another comment that came in saying that Facebook is very distracting, and whereas At the Bench is like a bit of a community. That's where you have all your films. This is your work mode or your learning mode. You go to Facebook for your bit of relaxation and your bit of general chit chat with your mates and sorry, let's say again, Louise.
Shopping.
Shopping, exactly. Shopping.
They show me things and I like them, so I buy them.
So that, I think, I was really surprised in saying, if you put all this information on Facebook, it's then Facebook's property, and then you are not in control with everything that goes on that group, on the Facebook group, which I think is totally right, because we just don't know what is going to happen in future and what information that Facebook use and glean from other people's data. So I think by keeping it all on ours, on our server and everything to do with ours, we are in control of what we've got.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that is a really powerful thing then.
Yeah, I mean, I like Facebook. I like Facebook ads. We use Facebook ads.
Oh yeah.
I'm really miffed about this iOS 14. Not happy about that at all. But yeah, but I can understand why people don't like it. And yeah, I waste time on Facebook. Loads of time.
Exactly. So I think by keeping it on the website, I think it'll keep everything together, and we can have it so only paid members have access. So people who come on with like a free view account cannot gain access to it. So it is solely for the closed paid member community. And then when someone's membership expires, that's it, they don't have access to it anymore.
Yeah.
So it adds a bonus to your brand. So what does everybody think? I've seen, what is Discord? Discord is like a channel, it's like an app where people can talk. I use it, I haven't actually used it yet, but our cycling group, when we're on Zwift, when we're on the trainers in our garage, you can put your little earphones in and you can all basically talk to each other via Discord, via like a channel. So everyone then can talk as if you're on a bike, so to speak. And that's pretty good, but I wouldn't think of doing Discord, no. Discord is the best for communicating with your fans. I don't think it is under these circumstances, because Discord is not particularly made for this. It's very new. Yeah, it's just like you have like a server, like a chat room, so to speak. 100% on the channel. I totally agree with it. Yes, and Facebook is distracted, and I must admit, Louise is the first one to admit that. Yes. And I do admit, as much as I love Facebook and I love looking at specific groups, you have
you were like the digital equivalent of a curtain twitcher. You are.
I don't want to
These old ladies who like look out the curtain, and then they're looking through a chink all the time at what's going on in the street and the neighbours, and that's you on your Facebook. That is. Yeah,
I don't like to linger too long. I just see you look at like your top 10 or whatever comes up, and you go click on there, and I go, well, that's it. That's all I need to do. So that's what I'm going to do. But people then will go here, will go there, or see that message, see what Auntie May's up to, and I think there's too many distractions. That is enough of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything you want to say, Louise, before we start?
I don't think so.
Nothing at all?
No. Why is there something you think I should say?
No, not at all. No,
I thought you were trying to get me to say sorry for swearing last week.
Yeah, I think the internet went down, but it went down for longer on our systems than it did
know the internet
for you
was down.
guys. And I think we were sat here going, hasn't come back up, hasn't come back, Louise. And we were talking, and actually it was still live.
I was complaining about the internet, and I called our internet provider.
You called Orange.
Yeah.
But luckily we're not with Orange, we're with EE.
Oh.
But it's the same company, was the same company, yeah. So there we go. You swore live on YouTube.
I do apologise. I don't usually swear in front of people.
All right.
Should we have a question?
It is the 15th of February. It's Monday. Louise, may we have our first question, please?
Yes. Fiona is saying, looking at the Fordham SR to use with the slip joint hammerhead. To help me control the hammer, does the Fordham SR manual dial speed controller work well enough?
It does. I find that even the foot control is I think it's one of the best. I've got a Seco pendant motor, I got a Milbros pendant motor as well. I think I got another one, not quite sure what that make is. And the foot controls on those are rubbish. You put your foot on it, it doesn't do anything, a fraction will go straight away, too fast. The advantage with the foot pedal with the Fordham SR, it's nice and gradual. You can just gently put your foot on it. Hang on, there we go. And less than that. Okay, really slow. So you don't necessarily need the little box that goes on the desk, on the bench with a little rotary control. I find the foot control is completely adequate, and that is fine with the hammer action handpiece. So you don't have to go buying anything else. Just buy the Fordham SR, the foot control is fine, you should have no problems at all. It revolves at far lower speed than the maximum of the hammer handpiece, so you should be fine with that. So yep, no need for the desktop control, rotary control, just use your foot control. Maybe have the next question, please.
Yep, Sandra is saying, I want to put a post through a stone bead, various types, and ball the ends. Sort of hinge-like, I suppose. How do I ball the ends without damaging the stone?
So I think what you're going to need is just to protect it. And I think that's the hardest thing. You're better off having something like a Smith's little torch, where you can get a very, very hot, small flame. I would try and use that. What I would perhaps also try and do is get perhaps some 2 sheets of perhaps some copper. Okay, so you have one rectangular sheet, another rectangular sheet, put a little nick there, put a little nick there, okay? So then when they go together, they will then have a little, butt them up. So if I draw this way now, yeah? So there's that, there's a little hole like that, and there's a little hole like that. So when they go together, you've got a little hole, the stone is down here, the wire comes through, and it just sticks above like that. So now this bit of area now is protecting the stone. Get your Smith's little torch here, onto that, and it'll just ball up this. It won't damage the stone because you've got protection from that area there. And if you make this large enough, this is not going to get hot enough to damage the stone. If you have a very small little area, like this little area like this, there's a chance that this little bit of metal here will get far too hot and it's likely to burn the stone. But it acts as a bit of a heat sink, so have a nice large 2 halves like that, with a little hole in it, and you should be able to melt it. If you haven't got a Smith's little torch and you've got one of these little chaps, that would still work, but you do have to take a lot of care because the heat then could easily travel down through into the stone. But if you've got a nice hot torch, quick, hot, very, very hot flame onto the tip, it should melt straight away. And the copper then will act as a bit of a heat sink. Hope that helps you. May we have the next question, please?
Yes. iRank Marketing is asking, could you take a minute to explain what polishing media you recommend is put onto polishing wheels before polishing gold or platinum rings?
So what polish, basically, yeah?
What polishing media you recommend is put onto polishing?
Okay,
yeah.
so if you're going to be doing something like platinum, I would use a Menzerner. Bear with me, because I've got it over on my mop by here. You can get Menzerner. This I've got up here is actually just for gold. Okay, so we've got a heavy cut. This is a pre-polish. This is Menzerner. This was from...
Sandra's saying, sorry to butt in.
Yes, okay.
Does the wire need to be fine silver or does sterling ball easily
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think you may have a problem if you have a bit of a problem with tarnishing, perhaps, if you use some sterling silver, that you may find awkward then to clean, perhaps. But fine silver you can use, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. So this is Menzerner. This is from Sutton Tools, Betts Metals. So I would use this as a pre-polish, okay? Or you could always use your little chunk of Tripoli. So that is a pre-polish that I would use. Then it depends now whether you're going to be doing gold or whether you're going to be doing platinum. If you're doing gold, I would use this type of polish. This, again, a super finish Menzerner. It's yellow, so it's ideal for a yellow metal. I think this is a P175. But if you're going to be using white metal, things like a platinum, I would use a platinum polish of Menzerner for white metals. I don't have that one up here, that's downstairs. But the bar, instead of being yellow, it's a bit more of a grey, a bit more of a white. So I would use that for platinum, or you can even use it for silver if you wanted to as well. You're going to be okay if you have a little bit of rouge like this with platinum. Rouge like this is fine for gold. Platinum needs something a little bit different. Platinum working, platinum polishing and finishing is a little bit more specialized. So usually have different polishes for that. If you're using gold, a Tripoli and a rouge would be fine. If you're doing platinum, you have different mops because of the contamination from the polish. I would use the Menzerner pre-polish and then the white super finish on the Menzerner. I know there are other polishes out there, things like Lux and Dilux and all that sort of thing, but for me, I use these. They come in nice big bars. They are going to last you quite a while. Absolutely. Louise.
While you're talking about these variants, somebody has
Yes.
been asking about working specifically with gold.
Yeah.
And can you make videos on that? But is it that different to...
No, as in from silver. Working from silver, working to gold, exactly the same. I'd use the same polish. I'd use the same Tripoli. I'd use the same rouge with that. I don't normally keep separate mops for that. The white nylon brushes. If people have ordered white nylon brushes, they are going to be a little bit longer coming through because of a delay in the shipping, basically. But these little guys here. These little white nylon brushes, we use these an awful lot. I would use these for gold, I'd use these for silver. So for me, there's no real difference in equipment or polish between gold and silver.
Not specifically polishing, generally, I think.
No, not at all. If you really want to get into it, you've got, as I said, this Menzerner fine polish, as you can see, and it is yellow. You can use this for gold, but you can also use it for silver as well. It's not going to give you a bad finish if you use it for silver, but for platinum, get a specific platinum polish, most definitely for that. Is that okay? Okay, cool, excellent. Any more questions?
Yeah, loads.
I know.
The Mob 1080, can Andrew recommend a drill set for drilling in silver? I have a cheap set from Walmart Dremel. But all it does is rub on the surface. It doesn't seem to grab the metal and drill.
So I would always go for something like, you have to excuse me, I'm a bit cash today. I didn't mean to come cash like this in a hoodie and my new t-shirt. So I would always go for something like like these little drill bits here. They are on these are on a 2.35mm diameter shank. So this here is 2.35. That will fit into all your pendant drills, your flex shafts, your slip joints in the UK, because that's the size. I think that's actually euro. And then they would then come into your drill. Okay, so then that is your drill, like that, bit lopsided drill there. And I would always buy these because then it's the same size shank and you can buy different size drill bits. I always buy perhaps a 1.5 millimeter. I would then perhaps buy a 1 millimeter, then a 0.9, then a 0.7, something like that. You can buy these by the 6s. Now, I would also learn how to sharpen the bits, because it sounds like your drill bits are blunt and they should be cutting into the silver straight away. I don't have my little mops here, but the mops I would suggest, not really mops, they're more silicone rubber, is Ceragloss. I think it may be 1R. Ceragloss wheels, and they are, you can buy them like that. Yeah. You can buy them in different grades. If you want a nice, the highest, the smoothest, get a yellow. They're not cheap. They're about 25, 30 pounds. What's that? 40, 50 dollars. Get the yellow, and then you can sharpen your drill bits using that. Do it under magnification so you can get the angles just right. It does take a little bit of a practice, but if you happen to snap the drills, you can use that then to resharpen them. And you can use these drill bits right the way down to the end, basically. So don't throw any of your drill bits away, save them, and just look in the books on how to sharpen drill bits. I think there's a few films on YouTube as well showing how to sharpen drill bits. But it sounds like that. But get good quality drills. Don't buy cheap drills. Buy these types of drills. I just drew on there from your tool suppliers, and they should be nice and sharp. Next question. I got no sweets, got no drink up here today.
So disorganised today. Sandra, our stores are reopening tomorrow with restrictions after a lockdown. That's fabulous news.
Wow, well done. Yeah,
that's really good. I think, where are you? Are you in Canada? I think you're in Canada, Sandra, aren't you? That's really good. Yeah.
I'm quite. I know. I am missing the shop. I must admit, I am missing dealing with the shop, but I just don't have much time to get what I need to do
We
now.
thought we'd have loads of time.
Oh,
don't feel like
I promised myself that I would make more time for us, but it hasn't worked out. And we've been going now since last week of December.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, right, we're going to start late, we're going to finish early, but it's still, we're not getting enough done during the day.
I think now we've decided to come here and be here in the day and not work from the house. It's going to be easier to start work and finish work and go home, and that's that.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, it's not about us. Let's get on with the question.
Next question, please, Louise.
I made a signet ring with fine silver. I wanted to know if I can get it laser engraved, or is 999 silver too delicate?
Yeah, you can get 999 silver laser engraved. You can get it punched as well. I think it will dent quite a bit when it's worn, because it's going to be a lot softer, and that's why they alloy silver with other metals to make it a lot harder. So I think you may have, if you are selling it, I would state the fact that it will dent and it will mark a lot easier than what a sterling silver one would, because it is fine silver. But yes, you can get it lasered 999. Absolutely. But get a nice deep etch on the laser. Don't get a very shallow one on the surface, and make sure it's deeply etched so it goes into the silver. Next question, please.
Okay. What does Andrew listen to while working? I listen to movies with the headphones on rather than music, just out of personal preference.
I usually listen to Jason wanging on all the time. Stupid things.
You like your 80s music, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't normally have anything on when I'm working.
Sometimes you have the radio, you have Jeremy Vine, don't we?
We have the Radio 2, Jeremy Vine, Steve Wright, that's always in the background. But I don't necessarily listen to it. Sometimes I find that when you're working away, your mind is constant, because in the shop, the workshop is under here and the shop is at that end, okay? So I find that when I'm working away, I'm listening to what's happening. Someone comes in the shop, I'm listening all the time to what's happening in the shop. people talking behind me, or Louise is asking where this is, where that is, and if I can help.
Or just me.
And Sharon, whoever is asking where this is, where that is, whatever. I'm constantly listening, so I'm answering questions and helping everybody.
You don't miss a thing.
No,
you clock everything
listening.
that happens in that shop as well, and you're in the next room. You don't. It amazes me how you.
But I'm listening because
You're like the all-seeing eye.
Yeah, someone says, "Oh, I ordered so and so 2 weeks ago. I'm not quite sure where it is," and usually I go, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I know where that is. That's in, and so and so and so and so forth." Yeah, so I'm always listening. So I don't often sit down and go da, 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 this to the music at all like that. I'm normally doing that. Jason's head. Shut up! Stop showing me stupid things on Facebook. Don't want to know, Jason. I'm busy. Yeah.
And this is why on a Wednesday, when you're not in, we mess with your Spotify. I love all the musicals, and we have all the songs from the show on your Spotify.
Yeah.
To make it go all sideways.
So come next year, or the end of this year, these are your most favourite. Yeah, okay. So no, so the answer to your question is the radio's on in the background, but not loud enough for it to really make out. Plus, we've got to be careful with PRS. As well.
Oh, don't start on that today.
Don't start
We're
with PRS and all that shenanigans, because if you have it quiet enough, you pay less, because obviously we have a shop. If the people in the shop can hear the radio, we have to pay more to play the radio. So we just keep it nice and quiet in our little area so the shop can't hear it. So you can just barely hear it in. That's how tight I am. Sorry, okay, let's go. Next question, please.
Okay, Kristen is saying, I'm close to upgrading from Dremel to Fordham. There are many handpiece options with the SR kit. Two look good to me are H8 and Faro, aka H10. Have you used either model?
I don't know what number this is. What is this? I don't know what number this is. This is just says Fordham on it. So this is the what I would always go for. A nice little quick release handpiece, most definitely. So easy, so straightforward, and that comes with a slip joint handpiece. Not handpiece. What's this thing called? Shaft. Spin that round, and that'll go back on like that. So I would definitely get one with this. I'm not quite sure what this is, to be honest. So that is one. I'm not quite sure what the other one is, to be honest, Louise. I'm not too hot on my handpiece numbers. Perhaps you could have a look for me, would you mind? Oh, and also I do like this one. This is a number 30. It's a Jacobs number 30. I know that because it's got a number 30 written on that.
Can you pass it to me and I'll have a look?
That's number. I know about
the one that you did that you don't know. Excuse me, I kept that now.
Oh, Louise has got a bad back.
Oh, it's bad.
Louise has got a bad back.
It is bad.
There's nothing on it.
Oh.
Well, I knew there was nothing on it. Just so yeah, just put in Fordham handpieces and we'll have a look. Yeah. So that, and then I've also got the hammer action handpiece as well. So these are my three.
Oh, Gordo was saying that's the Fordham H20. Oh, India and Albert, that's the Fordham H20.
Okay, so yeah, go for the H20, a number 30, which is the Jacobs chuck, which you're going to need if you have the jump ringer, or if you want to put anything bigger than a 2.35 millimeter shaft, or a thinner than a 2.35 millimeter shaft, because it has the adjustment on the side here, and then the hammer handpiece. Yeah, so those are my three handpieces that I would definitely go for. Does that make sense? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, the number 20, the H20, then H30. And the hammer handpiece. Those are the three that I would definitely go for. Next question then, please, Louise. I hope that has answered the question. I'm not quite sure what the other one is. I think the other one, is that the other one with like with a wire on the end of it and it's really floppy on the end, something like that? I've never used that. I've never had the need for that one. But those are the ones that come with it, usually. So that's what I would get. Most definitely. Oh, I've just faded us to black, Louise.
What are you doing?
There we go, that's better. Next question, please, Louise.
I knew I'd seen it somewhere. John is asking, you going to have more gold jewellery tutorials, making shapes, animals, etc.
Gold tutorials making animals?
Gold jewellery tutorials, e.g. making shapes, animals, etc.
On YouTube?
Just in general. I think it was John who asked earlier or later on somewhere about DVDs, but all of the tutorials are all on At The Bench. So there aren't any DVDs as such because they're all available online via the At The Bench website.
Yes, so we used to do DVDs. We did a few DVDs, and we were planning on a few more, but then the internet sort of took off, so we decided against doing DVDs because it seems a bit silly to do DVDs now when you've got the internet. The
internet took off.
In
1980.
The internet took off. When I said the internet took off, I mean there was no dial-up. We had broadband that was on all the time. Can you imagine? Remember those days when you used to and you have to upload and then download your email straight away. But then when you think about internet always on, what, you just click a button and it's always no dialing up. You think, oh my God, it's amazing. And now, if a page takes longer than a second to load, you go, come on. But, sorry, yeah, so there's
back to John's original question.
So back to John's original question. There are no DVDs anymore. It's all on atthebench.com. You can go and
but
subscribe
the gold, because John's asked specifically about gold.
Yeah, okay. So we don't do an awful lot of the basic sort of tutorials with gold. We do make things for the shop where we do use gold. If you want anything in particular, you can always, if you are a member of At The Bench, you can always go into the, and ask me. You can always go into the dashboard, right-hand side, I think it's the gallery, make a project, and you can send me all the information that you want. And then I'll gladly help. But there is not an awful lot of differences. There's not an awful lot of difference between gold and silver, or silver and gold. It's the same flux, it's the same saw blades, it's the same lubrication, the same polish, same file, same sort of technique. There's nothing specifically different.
Soldering?
Apart from the solder is gold and as opposed to silver, yeah. But they're all the same. You can
Sorry, I wasn't being...
No.
I wasn't being sarcastic.
No,
I don't know, do I?
No. But you can get your easy gold, medium, hard in the yellow and red, and you can get it in 18 karat and so forth. So there is no real difference when it comes to work. No difference.
Okay.
You use the same type of sandpapers, the emery papers, the same sort of files. Some people say don't contaminate them. I haven't got enough time for messing around like that. But it's the same thing. Everything is the same.
That's not my intelligent question. That's Paul asking. Annealing, is it?
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Again, gold work hardens. What the advantage with gold is that you won't get things like fire scale too much. If you use things like a red gold, because there's copper in it, you perhaps will get some oxides on the surface because of the copper. But otherwise, apart from that, it's exactly the same. You put it in your annealing pot. You can anneal it. You heat it up to the same temperature as silver. You put it in the pickling pot. It's exactly the same. So that's why we don't do an awful lot of gold, because the technique's the same. But if you want to know anything else, just let me know. Happy to help. Maybe have the next question.
Yeah, Bead Demon is saying, I just started to learn riveting. Is there a trick to keep from marring the side you're hammering in? I have shaky hands and miss the mark a lot.
Riveting, submissing. There's not an awful lot. The only thing I can suggest is that you get perhaps a piece of paper that you would put down perhaps over the top of the rivet, and then as you're hammering then, if you do happen to miss, it's not going to mark the surrounding metal too much. Or use something like some masking tape, something perhaps with a bit of depth to it, that if you do happen to slip, it's not going to mar the surface too much. But I don't think there's anything out there that would stop you. The only way that you could do it would be to use a hammer and punch, and then have the punch directly on top of, it may be like a two-person job this, but have the punch directly on top of the rivet and then hammer the punch. So you've all got to worry about is hitting the top of here, because this hand is exactly over the part of the rivet that you want to do it. So you're not relying upon this. You've got that exactly where it need be. And if you do happen to miss the end of the punch, you're not going to mark the work, because the punch is directly over the rivet. And you can also use a beading tool as well if you want to just get a slight bit of a rivet over the top that's slightly rounded. You can get a beading tool over the top and hammer the beading tool, and that would make the rivet nicely rounded as well. Next question, please.
Oh, Amco has said you may want to check your mic. There's a bit more noise than usual when you move. I've only just seen this. Sorry, folks.
Oh my God, where's it gone? Oh, it's gone down there.
Oh.
Woo.
Sorry, I wish I'd seen that before.
It had gone down there.
Thank you, Amco.
There we go. Sincere apologies. You got a lot of roughing. Medusa, thank you very much. I do appreciate Do appreciate that. Really do appreciate it. There we go. Okay, next question, please.
Sandra, I'm considering buying an exhaust/ventilation system for safety. I'm a hobbyist working in a spare bedroom. They are so expensive. Can I get away with a good 3M respirator instead?
Yeah, absolutely. Perhaps I would also work in front of a window that you can open up. And I say this quite often. If you open one door in the room and you have an open window, you normally get a draft, whether it be going out through the window or going in this way. At least you get a flow of air going over the work surface that you're working on that would perhaps take away any harmful fumes and that sort of thing. A 3M respirator would be very good, especially if you're doing things like polishing to put over. Definitely, that will stop any any dust, anything from going up your nose or being taken into your lungs. You can also do what they do if you've got things like hay fever, is to put a little bit of Vaseline on the inside of your nostrils as well, and that will stop things from going up your nose too much, and that will get caught in the Vaseline. But the thought of having Vaseline in your nostrils, no, not at all. Or all you have to do, I don't mind press that then, is just get, like the, what's it called? The big 4-inch flexible tubes that you get like to go on the back of your tumble dryer. Some people set up those right by the desk with a bit of an exhaust. I'm not quite sure exactly what they use, but something like...
Bearing in mind Sandra's in Canada and it's like -50 or whatever. So Sandra, just work in the garden with the snow is fine.
Put a coat on, get some gloves and open the window, you'll be fine. No, a respirator will be fine. The way I work is that when I am polishing, luckily we've got some extraction on the polishing motor, the desk-mounted polishing motor over there. There's extraction on that, so that takes away a certain level of dust. If I'm working away with a flex shaft, I never look directly over the top because then your face is in line of the fluff that comes off. I always work to the side this way. I can overhead camera on this, can I? There we go. So I never work this way, so my face is in front like this. Oh, to the top of my head. And then so it doesn't fly in my face. I always work sideways this way, so the dust is always missing my head, because my head then comes in like this, and it's like this. You see, so does that make sense? So there's nothing flying in my face all the time, and I don't often go directly over the top. I'm always sitting back and polishing like this, so it's not flying in my face. If I need to look at anything, I'll stop, take that away, have a look, and come back. So I always do take care, but I think as long as you're very careful and a little mask, I think if you're concerned, that should be fine. Some people have the big ones with the big like filters on either side, like almost like gas masks that they use, but I think they're a bit overkill.
I think you can't be too careful.
You can't be too careful? No, you're right. Next question, Lisa.
How far did we get? Andrew, could you please give me advice on setting raw stones, shards of quartz and garnet in claw settings on rings? It's very difficult to secure them perfectly. Yeah, this is we have this quite a bit, don't we? We really have the natural. So are they naturally occurring crystals, or are they sort of like shards and slices and fractures of bits and things? Shards of quartz, it says, quartz and garnet.
Oh, I think this is where something like a wire wrapping would come in handy, because you could wrap the top. You have your crystals. I can't even draw a crystal, to be honest. So there's like a funny shaped crystal.
Sorry.
Are you laughing? How do you draw a crystal? Not an odd shaped crystal. I don't know that. Okay, so you got to put that onto a ring shank, yeah? There's your ring shank, yeah? How the heck do you put that on a ring shank? You would wire wrap it somehow. You get some wire and you wrap around it, or you wrap around it this way. You just wrap around it, don't you? I don't think there's any way you can actually get anything that is going to be suitable within a claw shape, because a claw setting is ideal if your stone is cut to these sort of proportions, aren't they? If your stone is this and then the claw is nicely cut like this, there's your claw. Okay, so that's great for stones like this, but if you've got, are they commenting on my drawing skills again? But if you've got...
Oh, it was good.
This was excellent. I've had lots of practice with this. So I think that would work, but if you've got your little irregular shards of crystal, I think it'd be very, very difficult. The only way you could do it would be to put it into something like a fine silver bezel. Yeah, like a fine silver bezel, I would put it in, try and get, and be selective with what you can get. But apart from that, put it into a claw setting. I personally don't think it's going to work too much, because you're going to have to move the claws into position in the right places, because, you know, if you're looking down on a crystal, not trying to draw...
Would it be vulnerable as well in a claw?
I think it would, yeah, because say you got your crystal with all, I don't know, this is my interpretation of a crystal, yeah, and it's all, like my crystal's rectangular, yeah, so... I don't know. So say you've got a crystal looking down like that, it's going to be very hard to put that into a claw setting. Or if you've got a shard, how's it going to go? You could put that into like an oval setting and try and put the claws here. Then you have to make the claws a bit wider to fit here. I don't know. It's going to be really awkward into claw settings. So you may have to rethink how you're going to do it. That's the thing. And every bit of stone you're going to have is going to be completely different. So you can't say, well, I'll get these 10 by 8 millimeter claw settings, oval settings, that's going to fit all my shards. Then we can be all slightly different.
You've got to think about the stone's vulnerable points as well, though.
I think if they're shards and they're natural like that, you do have to be very careful, because due to the inclusions. And
I'd love to see something like that, though.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I think you're going to have to be very careful. Perhaps claw setting is not a good idea, but definitely something like a bezel setting would be ideal for it. And fine silver, because you can get it nice and thin, and you can really, really burnish it all the way around the outside of the setting. Next question, please, Louise.
Hey, the Morrigan's jewellery box is saying, I'm having a horrible time getting any type of jewellery saw skills. What is the best way to increase my skills without wasting a bunch of material?
Sawing.
Saw skills, yeah.
So, well,
yeah.
As it happens, we have our Essential Bench Skills course coming out soon. That is still, we still have to do this every week. We still say we need these projects, don't we?
They're still on the way, aren't they?
There's not enough hours in the day. The best thing to do is, we are producing some bench skills, a bench skills course on At the Bench that is going to be a standalone. And what I would do is buy some copper. Buy some 3-inch, 75mm squares of copper. If you're in the UK, Cookson sell them and loads of other places sell them. 3-inch square. From that, draw a little pattern on it in copper, 0.8, 0.9mm thick, 3-stroke O piercing saw blades, and just practice cutting straight lines. Practice cutting curves, practice cutting corners, but do it on some copper or some brass. That would be the best thing to practice on. Also, we've produced, we've down to the last 2 films and handouts now to do with our course, and we will work with you through that course, but that's yet to be released.
Yeah, there's been a delay, but it's going to be good. It is going to be good.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be worth the wait.
But I think the only thing I can say is practice does make perfect. Don't think that you can go and get, you know, a 40, 50 pound, $60, $70 saw frame like this, and this will improve your piercing like that, because it won't. You need, where my saw frame is now, actually using my saw frame now. You could just have a normal basic saw frame, and providing you get good quality branded piercing saw blades that in theory are going to be cutting straight, because some of the cheap ones don't, they're badly done. So don't try and economize by buying cheap blades. Buy nice branded like Pike, Laser Gold, Super Pike from Velour, like these here, like these. Definitely buy these branded blades. Let's have a look what we got in here. Yeah, these are the Swiss blades. Velour. and I think you should have no problems, but practice does make perfect. Don't practice on silver, practice on copper, and you should be good to go. Louise, maybe have another question.
Yeah.
No, I don't, Amco. I can see what you're saying. You need a fixed. Right, okay. I'm not going to get frothy. If you're going to buy a saw frame, buy a fixed one. Fixed frame, okay? Like this, that doesn't move. It's fixed. Don't buy the adjustable ones, okay? Buy a fixed frame. It's the cheapest, it's the best. Next question before I go any further.
Okay, let's leave that there. Where is the best place to buy gold and silver, which their prices are not above the gold and silver price in the world market?
You will always pay more than what the prices of the gold market.
Buying scrap.
Because you have to pay somebody for melting it, refining it, alloying it, and making it into the section. If you go to any of the suppliers, people, if you're in the UK, people like Metalor, Cookson, Betts Metals, any of the big boys, okay? If you're in another part of the world, go to a specific metal bullion dealer. There is no cheaper place. They usually always sell for the same price. It changes usually every day because of the metal fix. So there is nowhere you're going to buy gold for the gold fix of the day. It'll never happen. You always have to pay a bit more. But as Louise just said, if you want to get the best deal, buy some scrap gold.
They just said I cannot find scrap gold. But then I suppose you have to ask for it, I guess, don't you? Because we've got a sign outside the shop which says we buy.
You buy gold.
People have always got odd earrings or things that they,
exactly.
don't wear anymore. So
yeah, and then you can buy that at the scrap price.
Yeah, it comes in fits and starts, doesn't it? Because when the scrap price is high, people always want to seem to sell naturally. Yes. They're scrap, but then we might have weeks and weeks where we don't get much at all.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly right. So if you can, ask around your friends, say you buy the scrap gold, and then you can then buy it at a cheaper price than the gold fix. You can buy it at the scrap price, less a little bit perhaps. But yeah, you won't buy actual brand new gold in the size that you want for the gold fix. There's always an added premium on top of it for the refining and the manufacturing costs. Next question.
Okay, Adria, do buff top stones need to be set differently than other faceted stones?
No, they don't, because the top is a cabochon and the bottom is faceted. You can treat it exactly as you can a faceted stone. But obviously, okay, yes, so the top of the stone is going to be like this and the bottom is going to be like that. So perhaps when you come to do your your claw, it can't be the 90-degree that you would normally have. Perhaps your best bet would be to use a straight-sided burr that is more like that. Yep. So then you've got this edge here. So this is the seat that's going to sit on, and then you can just ease this over then onto the stone, as opposed to cutting an exact 90-degree. Apart from that, that would be the only difference. Next question. Your best bet if you want to find the price of scrap gold is go to someone like Cookson Gold. They have a scrap and they will give you the price. Again, that changes every single day. They will only give you like 98% of the scrap price for the day.
Is that only applicable in the UK though?
Which one?
Cookson's.
No, there's Cooksons everywhere. There's Cooksons in France. There's Cooksons all over the place.
Okay.
I was quite impressed actually. Well, the Cookson rep was quite impressed when was it this time last year? Because Vincenzo Oro, the French rep from Cookson, came over to see Matthew Durston, and I was there. And I said, bonjour. He went, oh, he thought I could actually speak French, but my authentic bonjour was so impressed. He was so impressed with it, he started to talk to me in French. So there we go.
How did you react then?
I don't speak French.
You couldn't even say, I don't speak French in French.
I just went, bonjour. Next question. But you can look up the gold price wherever you are in the world. I can't Amco. I know Amco on here, but I think there's something like that out there. Bed and Co in the UK. But if you go to your country and go to any of the manufacturers or the bullion dealers, they will always give you a price of what the gold's going to be, and also the price of what they would buy the scrapping at as well. Yes.
Okay.
Next question, please.
Okay, Learn Media is asking, how can I keep my tools from rusting in my studio? I am due to take delivery of my new rolling mill soon, and I'm worried about rust. Do I need to oil every time I use the item, and which type of oil?
Okay, so a lot of people would, I've seen a lot of people get some foam. And if I can move this particular camera here, I will turn this one around. If I can go on to number 2, there we go. So if I do this, you'll be able to see what I'm going to be referring to. Okay, so yeah, when you get your rolling mill, it's going to be all this area here is going to be covered in gunk and a lot of thick grease. You need to get that thick grease off and get it back to the bare metal. But obviously these lovely shiny surfaces, you really got to take care over. So a lot of people will actually put into the top this gap here, okay, and the gap down the bottom. They'll put a little bit of sponge, and they will perhaps strap it in to the frame, perhaps through the top this way, and they will put a little bit of lubrication on that sponge. You know what I mean? There's the whole, pretend this is sponge, okay? That would be strapped into this area, and it will run on top of the rollers. So if this is always in contact. So that actually has sort of two benefits. It keeps the rollers clean. If there's any dust on it, the sponge takes up some of the dust, and also you can put a little bit of oil upon that sponge, and it will always keep the surfaces nice and clean. Don't put too much oil on it, otherwise it's going to dribble all over the rollers and you're going to be in with a mess. But a slight little bit of oil. What type of oil? Something that's nice and light, like a light general purpose. Here in the UK we use things like 3-in-1, like a light sewing machine oil that's nice and thin, something like that will just gently coat the rolls. Make sure if you are in a dusty atmosphere or a damp atmosphere to get like a little, not a pocket, like a case, like a cover that will go over the rolling mill. I wouldn't have anything that is going to be plastic because you're going to get some condensation on the inside. So have something like a nice fabric one that at the end of the day you can just simply get out and put over your mill just to protect it. In the morning, whip it off, no problem at all. But a nice soft cover like that would be fine. And I'm sure there's a guy on YouTube that shows you the little foam that he's got on the top and on the bottom of the rollers as well. So that should help. Mineral oil, nice and light, nothing too thick, not like car oil, that's too thick, nice and thin oil. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. India and Albert is saying, I'm making a rose gold bezel with claws for an oblong stone, but I want the claws in the corners. I have filed away slight recesses for the claws. How would I hold it all together to solder it?
Exactly the same way as you've been following it already on At the Bench. Exactly the same. So you've got rectangular, was it?
Rectangular, sorry, oblong stone, rose gold bezel with claws for an oblong stone. Want the claws in the corners, filed away slight recesses for the claws.
Yeah, so you got that. So yeah, so do exactly the same as what we did. You have your bit of metal, they come across, they do that. So there's your metal here. Yeah. That's absolutely terrible drawing, Andrew.
It's not bad.
No, it's absolutely awful, that. And then you have the other one then that comes across and goes down. Yeah. And you do exactly the same. I mean, then you just line those up with the rectangular parts of your bezel. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah, not quite. But yes, but you do exactly the same way. And do it that way. And that's going to hold it all together. If you try and do each claw individually, it's going to be really, really awkward. But if you can join that claw with that claw, then join that claw with that claw, like that, and then you just cut them off. But do that, you can solder this area, and then you can solder all four at the same time. You can get them in exactly the right spot as well, to make sure that when you do come and solder them, they're going to be exactly where they should be. Yep, so that's your best bet. I hope that drawing makes a bit of sense. That's your best. Okay, next question, please.
Natalia is saying, thank you very much for the Silver Clay magazines, they're very interesting.
You're welcome.
Are there any more? Learn Media sent an email but did not hear back. Oh, you have to Was it email or what?
Who's this now?
Learn Media.
Learn Media? What's Learn Media?
That's the account who's asking the question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. What was it again? Sorry. What was the question?
I sent an email about the fine silver magazines, but did not hear back. Are they all gone?
Yes.
Oh. Have we got any in there?
Let me have a look.
No, I'll have a look after. If you drop me a line, Learn Media, sorry, I don't know your name, but if you email me...
There's one there.
I do like, because we've been sorting out the landing over the last
Louise is sorting out her office out here.
It's going to be my office.
It
office
was an absolute mess.
Sounds grand, but yeah. But I did notice a few, and I don't think we threw them. Because I'm not allowed to throw anything out. Nothing.
What was that? It's Louise's new office. Right. What have we got? 1, 2. I want a whole set for myself. Don't know why. I just like collecting things. What a waste of time collecting things, isn't it? What? What have you been rabbiting on about now?
I'm not allowed to throw anything out.
11, 12, 13. Yeah, went up to 13. I have 4 copies left. You're on camera, Stug.
Okay. Yeah, Learn Media, sorry, I don't know your name. If you email me at Louise, Louise at andrewberry.co.uk, we can get this sorted out for you.
There's one over there as well.
Yeah, fab. Yeah, so drop me a line, Louise at andrewberry.co.uk.
Put them over there, please.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Tar.
And that's the other one, is it?
That's one spare one as well, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we thought we'd give them all away, but as Louise was saying, we're sorting out a lovely little office that we actually may use for some recording purposes at a later stage. It's very nice. Very nice out there, Louise. I don't have an office. You're the only one who has an office. Yeah, I've got. I think we were charging £4, but the postage is going to go up because 2 issues is less than 400 grams. 3 issues, I think, is going to take it over. So I think it's going to cost about £6 or £7 for postage. But anyway, may we have the next question, please, Louise?
Yes. Silver clay magazines, bezel setting. Am I able to, sorry, Medusa is asking, am I able to resolder after I set my stone? A part of my pendant broke and I want to resolder it back into place, but I'm afraid it will ruin my stone since it's already been set. I'm not sure if this has been answered in the chat. Because it's, this chat's just skipped, labradorite or labradorite, yes, heat sensitive, yeah.
Wouldn't try it.
No.
The only thing I would try soldering next to is something like a diamond, providing it hasn't been heat treated or lasered or fracture filled. And perhaps you would just risk it with a ruby, but rubies turn green.
They can be fracture filled as well.
I love heating a ruby.
Aren't they?
It can be, yes. But it turns green but goes back red afterwards. I love watching that happen. Perhaps I shouldn't. But no, I wouldn't even chance it, to be honest. No. Going back to that, what Paul says about buying in at scrap price. How much of the scrap price do you buy it in at? Whatever you can get away with.
That's ethical for your customer.
That's ethical and for your customer, yes, Louise. Next question. Oh, and by the way, I think U2W, I think I did reply, but we're only shipping to the UK. We're not shipping these magazines out of the UK. Only in the UK because of the cost of shipping. That's the reason perhaps you didn't get a reply, but we did reply.
Sorry that we didn't reply. Or did we reply?
I think the 1 or 2 I did reply that were abroad, and I said we only did the UK only.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a shame.
But at the time, I think when you email, perhaps there were none left because they went all last week.
Sorry, guys.
But anyway, next question, please, Louise.
Okay. We saw the stone. Yes, we've done that one, haven't we? Yvonne is saying, I understand the melting point difference in strip and wire solder types, but is there a difference in the strength of the solder joint based on grade of solder, H, M or E? Okay, so yes, there is. If you want the strongest joint possible, you should try and get a solder with the largest proportion of
the metal, the parent metal. So if you are looking at a hard solder, that is going to melt at a higher temperature because there is not much of an alloy in it to reduce the melting point. So the majority are going to be, of that solder, the majority is going to be, for argument's sake, gold. Its majority of that is going to be gold, okay? When you come down to something like an easy solder, because it's going to melt at a lower temperature, there's less of a proportion of the parent metal in it because of the extra alloys needed to melt it at a lower temperature. Does this make sense? I hope it does. So the strongest solder possible is one that melts at the highest temperature. So like a hard solder is going to be stronger than an easy solder because the proportion of alloy is less in the hard than it is with the easy. And that's the same with something like silver and gold as well. And also if you want a solder that is the nearest color as well to the metal you're soldering, again a hard solder because that works true. If you're using silver, there's going to be more of the silver in a silver hard solder than say copper or nickel or whatever, zinc that goes in that. Does that make sense? So if you want a true solder color, get the highest melting point because there's more metal in it, less alloy. And the same goes with the solder. It's the strongest if it's the hardest. But then again, there's not an awful lot of difference between a hard and soft solder when it comes to durability. But always try and use something like a hard solder, definitely. Quick one here. While I'm doing some flush mount settings, my burnish just slips continuously and scratches the surrounding metal. What am I doing wrong? Sometimes the stone isn't set deep enough, so you don't get enough of that little lip for the burnisher, and don't put an awful lot of effort, just do it gently all the way around. But it sounds like the stone is not deep enough and you're not getting that edge to burnish. If it's only very shallow, you're going to slip. Make the stone a little bit deeper and you'll get a bit more of an edge. Sorry, Louise, I got in the way then. Maybe have next question, please.
Janet, I'm so sorry, I skipped your question unintentionally. Janet is asking, hammer handpiece, what other use other than bezel settings can it be used for? You
can get little anvils to go obviously in the tip. The good thing with these little anvils, you can file them and shape them to whatever shape you want. There's also one that's got a diamond tip. So there's an industrial diamond turned upside down, so there's a point, and that goes into the end of the hammer handpiece. So as that reciprocates, goes back and forth, it produces a lovely little dent, but that little dent is nice and sharp. It's like the tip, the culet of the diamond. So it's shiny, it's sharp, and it produces a gorgeous little dazzle effect over the piece. We've had one now for about 10-12 years and it is slowly wearing. The dents aren't quite sharp because obviously if you think about reciprocating handpiece all the time against a piece of metal, something's going to wear. So the diamond is starting to wear slightly. But yes, and the anvils you can shape into a point and so forth. You can put a nice texture on the end of an anvil to get a bit of a muted texture on a piece as well. So those are two fantastic uses. A nice dappled finish and a nice textured finish with the anvils as well. Next question. I think we've got another five minutes to go.
Is it worth hanging around till 5 to see what happens?
Perhaps just have a general chat, to see if it goes off again, So we've got the most of it and it hasn't gone down, is it? It's kept excellent.
It's been okay. Has anybody experienced any problems with the stream? Or I think we've been pretty good, haven't we? Normally, you guys are really good at saying when there's buffering or a problem. So yeah, it looks to be okay, doesn't it?
Yeah, so have fingers crossed. That's the reason why we come on a little bit early today, just to see if it was the hour that they're tying us to, but they're not. So perhaps it's the 5 o'clock when we used to come on at 4 to 5. So we'll carry on. Thanks, Romy.
Great. Thank you, Romy. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next question, then, please.
Yes. Patrick is asking for advice on fusing fine silver, please.
Advice in what aspect?
Fusing fine.
What,
general
rings?
Advice, Patrick, or perfect? Stream has been stable, good, perfect, all good. Yeah. Some slight problems, Susan HP, but generally. Slight buffering half an hour ago, but yeah, generally it's been pretty good.
Okay.
That's brilliant. Okay. Thank you, guys.
So anything to do, again, I would. So I would always be careful.
Here comes the froth.
No, there's no froth. I'm not frothing today. Everything has to be exactly the same when you come to fusing as you do when you come to normal soldering. The joints have to be clean. The joints have to be flush or parallel. They've got to be touching. Because again, if the pieces of metal like this and you're fusing and there's no way for the metal to fuse across a gap, it's not going to work. So again, the joints have got to be touching. They've got to be clean. And as soon as you see that little flash coming where the surface just melts, you take the torch away. That's a little bit, otherwise it's likely to melt. Practice on some little bits and pieces first of all. But that's the only tip that I can really suggest, is make sure that you prepare it exactly as you would a normal solder joint. Clean, tight joins, and you should be fine. Oh, we've got about the books.
Got mine. Have you got yours?
No, you didn't remind me. I forgot. Oh, that was the dolphin one, was it?
Octopus.
Octopus, that's the one. He was a sea creature. I don't have any books, no. You should have reminded me. Why didn't you remind me? Oh. Okay, next question, please, Louise.
I can't show my book then,
Of course you can, yes.
Okay.
Do you want to do a show and tell now?
No, I'm too shy. Do you want a question?
Yes, please.
I will show you my book if you're interested.
Yeah.
Okay. Janet is saying, I've made a heart pendant with a bezel set stone, but noticed the bloom on the silver. Fire scale?
Yes.
This is what Janet's asking.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know.
My gosh, Louise.
Well done, Louise. Having difficulty sanding out. Any clues what I can do without removing the stone?
No, just go to sand it out. You just got to get a bit of emery paper on it just to remove it. Absolutely. Does sound like it is a bit of a fire scale. And you just got to get a bus stick or one of these little wheels, these little... Ooh, I haven't turned that back, have I? Of these little silicone wheels like this to go over it. If you are using these silicone wheels, don't go in one area, just go over the whole piece so you don't get a bit of a divot in the silver. But yeah, I'm afraid you just got to go over it with some emery paper and then repolish it, and you should get the fire scale off. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Greg is saying, when centrifugal casting, can you burn out the wax in the investment without a burnout oven? Or is there a way to cast without burning out the wax?
The advantage with a burnout kiln is the fact that it gets up to a massive, massive temperature. And a very hot temperature, and the advantage of that is that it burns out the wax completely. So it's not just a simple matter of getting an oven warm enough for the wax all to dribble out, because invariably there's going to be some residue inside. And if that is left inside, when you come to cast it, you're not going to get a good successful cast. The idea with a proper kiln is that it goes to that temperature so all the wax runs out, but it keeps ramping up and up and up, and it gets so hot, it literally vaporizes the bit of wax or whatever it is that is still inside the vacuum, still inside the flask. So a simple oven is not going to work. You need a kiln to be able to go nice and hot that way. Oh.
You spotted.
I'm looking at Jim Bettridge. In fact, I've been to the Kitchener Jacob's Market. Oh, yes, I did miss out on the apple fritters. The queue for that, I couldn't believe how long that queue was. And apparently, if you're anywhere near Kitchener, go to Jacob's Market, yeah, because it's the Amish people, yeah, and they have all their stalls out. It's amazing because they're all selling all the same stuff, and it's all like corn and it's all whatever there. But there's an indoor part that's really good, and they sell nothing but this one area, apple fritters. And they are well known, and the queue is miles long just for these apple fritters. And we never, Richard and his wife and girlfriends and kids and me, never hung around long enough for the apple fritters. I'm really disappointed that we didn't do that.
Make that sound like a really sad story, Andrew.
It was sad because we didn't stop for the apple fritters. Sorry. Next question, please. Jim. Buy some apple fritters, send them over to us. Next question.
How much is that going to cost you to recover then?
What, apple fritters?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll pay your post.
You might regret saying that.
I'll pay your post. Get us a box of apple fritters, put them in the post, get them over to us. Hopefully they'll get to us when it's still warm.
Probably get to us in about 3 months, judging by the way things have been lately.
You know, I thought.
How long did poor Yvonne wait for her soul?
I know, that's another point.
So they're going to be not much left of apple fritters by the time they get to us.
Tim Hortons apple fritters are pretty good when they're warm.
You and your apple fritters.
But
Tim Hortons.
the English ones, right? Next one, please.
Yes. Okay. Sandra's asking, how do you create those peas in a pod type of settings with tiny jagged raw stones? They look a bit like a split open tube with its sides burnished in around the stones.
Yeah, you can use things like fold forming for that. You can get like a leaf shape and so if you get like a leaf shape like that, okay, and fold it in half, yeah. So you folded it in half like that, and then you can hammer. If you hammer down the closed edge here, you're going to find the metal moves into like a P. I may have something out there, but if you do this with the fold forming, you'll find that this will work. If you hammer down this edge, it's going to stretch the wrong way. If you hammer, I think, on this closed edge here, it's going to bend, and you can do some sort of the pea pod lookalikes that way. And if you have it in copper or have it in silver, you should be able to do some of the. There are lots of pictures on Google showing this technique.
It does look like a taco.
A taco. all right. I'm cooking tonight as well. You better watch out.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Remember that day when Andrew's cooking tonight? Hope you don't get food poisoning.
Oh,
you're still here, Louise. You're still here.
Is that when you made the sausage gnocchi?
I think it was the sausage gnocchi, wasn't it? That was
splendid.
Splendid.
I cannot fault it. Superb.
I think we had a few more after that as well. We've had the Tag the Telly one as well. That was pretty good. Anyway, we digress. Fold it in half, do some fold forming, and you should get that pea pod shape. Definitely, yes. And then open it up, put your crystals in it, and then like close it around it like a taco. Next question then, please, Louise.
Okay, Joanne Wilkinson. Talk to me, Andrew, about paste versus liquid flux. I have used Cupinil.
Who?
Cupinil.
Don't know.
For years, but everyone uses paste. That's Cupinol, love.
I would think so.
Yeah. I tried Handy Flex and Borax and have a terrible mess. Shall we see what chemicals or what?
So I would.
Cupinil?
Me personally, I find Borax for me is the best. Cupinol is from Rio Grande.
Coating and Flex anti-fire scale. Okay.
I tell you what also is good is Fire Scoff. If you can buy some Fire Scoff, that is really good. It's quite expensive for what it is. It comes in a nice little pump dispenser. Fire Scoff, definitely I would try. That's very good, and that acts as a bit of a barrier as well. Fire Scoff is brilliant if you're using rose gold because it does protect the surface. So that is what I would use. I don't rate many other of the fluxes. I've got things like Magic Borax, quite good, where you mix boracic acid and borax with denatured alcohol, or methylated spirits. That's always pretty good. Never ever use paste solder if you could possibly use it. Or flux, yeah, but I find borax is the flux for me that I have used for 30 odd years and I've never had any problems. People are saying the new borax cones are crumbling, but you only just got to have a little bit in your dish, haven't you, like this, as you can see, and you don't really need then to use this cone too much. So I don't have much experience with Cupinil, whatever it was. Yeah, sorry. Next question, please, Louise.
I think I've missed one.
Have you?
So how did I miss your question? Best way. I'm so sorry. Yeah, best way to dispose of pickle and LOS.
Okay, liver sulfur.
Sorry,
so
Sahar.
what I would do is perhaps try and dehydrate it. Perhaps get some cat litter, put that in a little box, put your pickle into it, put your liver sulfur into it so it absorbs and this gets rid of all the water. Then I would then take that to your local refuse centre, what they call amenity centre, where they dispose of things like paints and oil and that sort of thing, and they can dispose of that safely. Some people would put in things like bicarbonate of soda into their acid to neutralize it. That is a good thing to do, but I would always perhaps get some sheets of newspaper in a box, put the acid in it that's been neutralized and liver sulfur into it, and make sure it evaporates. Then you've got the paper that you can safely tie up in a bag and take it to your amenity centre, and they can dispose of it for you. That would be the safest thing to do. Maybe have the next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Celeste is saying, when I'm doing a flush mount setting, my burnish slips continuously and scratches the surrounding metal. What am I doing?
That's what I just mentioned now. I think your
that's what you read. That's when you.
Your stone is going to be your stone is going to be too high. You don't have an awful lot of metal here for where your stone is. So I would always try and set the stone a little bit, perhaps not as low as that, a little bit lower, so perhaps the table is flush. So then you've got plenty of metal then here to burnish. So I think the stone's too high, and this area between here that you're trying to burnish over is too thin. Make the stone lower and you'll find there should be more metal here and your burnisher won't slip. Also, your burnisher should be that gentle like that as well, or even sharper than that again. You know, make sure it is nice and thin like that. Make sure this is nicely polished as well. Don't need anywhere else polished, just the tip needs polished. If you're trying to burnish with a tip that does that, that's going to be no good. You're going to slip guaranteed with that. But make sure the tip of your burnisher is nice and long like that. Polished end, set the stone. The table is usually level with the surface if you're going up to 2 millimeter in size of the stone. If you're going any bigger than 2 millimeter, but then yes, it should be slightly above, but it's this that you're having problems with, and it's that edge that you're trying to burnish and it's slipping. So go deeper and then get a nice sharp-ish, but the end mustn't be sharp, it'll scratch the stone. It must be slightly rounded, and then you have no problems. Next question.
Just going back quickly to the disposal question.
Yes.
Does it matter which kind of cat litter?
No.
There's lots of this. Well, as you know, there's.
If it's going to be just purely for putting this, I just buy the cheapest.
The pellets. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would not dispose of it. I would take it to your local amenity centre. As I said, the place where they accept tins of paint and oil, and they can dispose of that then properly then, and that can be their responsibility for doing that. Or just get like like an ice cream tub, loads and loads of paper in it, or bits of whatever you've got, and then you can pour the liquid in it, wait till it evaporates, and then you can get rid of it that way. Next question, please, Trace.
Okay. Celeste is asking, have you previously done videos on how to use the different anvil points?
No.
Can you do one?
Yep. For At the Bench or YouTube? Let me know.
Okay.
I'll have to buy some anvil points.
Okay. Book show and tell. La, la, la. Do you use flux when fusing?
No. If you're fusing, you should be using something like fine silver or fine gold. You don't usually require a flux for that at all. It's just a fusion between the metal.
Okay. Where are we?
A quick question. I accidentally got rouge in your box. You don't. Okay. You've got Natalia. You've got rouge in your silver. Nice silver in your borax. Now remember, rouge is a good anti-flow. The solder won't flow onto rouge. So no, stop what you're doing. Get rid of that little bit of borax. Gosh, usually it's in the dish. Yeah, you may have a bit of rouge in here. If it's pink, it may inhibit and stop the flow of solder. So get some warm water. Soak this area in some warm water if it's just this bit here. Wait till it's all nicely moistened, then you can chip away all this, get it back to a nice fresh dish, wash the end of your cone and get it back to new. But I wouldn't even try if it got, that's pretty clean. But if it gets dirty from the polish or dirty from rouge, just get rid of it. Perhaps you can use it when you come to doing some melting down. You can put it down into your molten silver to help it all swoosh together nicely, so it isn't wasted. But I would always take it and get it out of that dish. You don't want anything that's going to stop the solder to flow. So the flux helps the solder to flow and the rouge stops the solder to flow. So it's not going to work. So get rid of it ASAP. Next question, please.
Okay, David is saying, I'm fairly new at smithing, but I'm loving the work and have enjoyed many of your tutorials.
Lovely, thank you.
I also have a gypsy setting question. If the diameter of the hole is too large, will that prevent effective burnishing?
Yes, basically. So this is the problem you got. So what you may have to do is get a bigger stone and then cut the hole just a little bit bigger, but you mustn't really have any gap in that hole, because it's just going to be so much of a hassle trying to get the metal over onto the stone. So this is where I think a lot of beginners make the mistake. They have a hole and they go, oh great, the stone fits in there, no problem at all. And the stone won't stay in there because they can't get the metal to come onto the stone because there's too much of a gap. I would always get the stone. I would always, say, for argument's sake, say you're doing a signet ring, okay? So you're doing a signet ring and you're putting like a gypsy set or whatever you want to call it into the stone here, into the center of the stone, yeah? I can't remember what I was saying now. See what I mean about my memory's just gone?
Okay. Can you read the question again?
No, it's okay. I remember the question. I can't remember what I was actually thinking of. The problem is, yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say. So I would always get a marker, indelible marker, and put a line on bit of metal, and then you've got your cabochon stone, yep. And I'd always put a line on the stone. And when you come to make the hole, always align up the line on the stone with a line on the signet ring here, so you can be sure you're getting that stone into position the same every single time. Perhaps that stone isn't quite exactly oval or round, and you may go and go, oh, it doesn't quite fit here, so I'll just remove a little bit more metal here, like that, that'll fit. But then the stone goes in place and it's upside down. And you think, oh my gosh, it was a bit too tight down here. So you come along, you make it a little bit bigger down here. Now you've got two areas where, do you know what I mean? And then the stone goes in, you go, oh my God, yeah. So always have a mark on the stone, like a indelible pen or a bit of masking tape, and have a mark, a little bit of masking tape or a pen on the item, so you can always get the stone in the correct orientation every time. And that will be the best way then to make sure that the hole you're burring out is going to be the right size for the right orientation of the stone. Next question. My throat is starting to go sore.
Well, you have been talking for a good hour and a half.
How do we used to
manage
manage
with the marathon?
You. How about the marathons we do for the 12 hours?
Yeah.
Next question, please.
Oh, does safety pickle need special disposal? Romy and Paul are asking.
Again, you can sometimes put bicarbonate of soda into it to neutralise it. But I would always do exactly the same thing as, again, put it into some paper and dispose of it properly that way. Some people say you can put bicarb and then pour it down the sink or pour it down the toilet or whatever it is. Bit risky if you ask me, so always take care when you do dispose of it. It says safety pickle, but it's still an acid, isn't it? Can we look this up? What the pH was sodium bisulfite. Yeah. So yeah, you still should do exactly the same thing. No, I can't remember either. but yeah, you should dispose of these things really, really carefully. Next question, please.
Will there be a Q&A on Monday?
If I'm not mistaken, next anniversary, Monday, up to you, Louise. Should we do a question on our anniversary? We've actually stopped click and collect, haven't we, on the Monday? So we have, no, we're not going to do a question and answer.
No? Should we do it Tuesday instead?
We'll do it Tuesday, shall we?
Yeah?
Yeah? Okay. All right, we'll do it Tuesday.
Yeah. Rather than cancel altogether.
Yeah, okay. We'll do a question and answer on Tuesday, because we said we've cancelled click and collect for next Monday. I think it's only fair. It's our first wedding anniversary. Can't wait.
I know you love this hour. It's like, and I do as well, we both do, but for you it is like...
Yeah, I love this hour.
The highlight of your week, pretty much, at
absolutely.
the moment, because we're not doing anything else, are we? So, yeah.
It's something that has been very regular since March, April time. I think we've done it every single week. This question and answer. It was only going to be for the first lockdown, wasn't it? And then we'd had that I had this mad idea of the 12-hour live stream, that we've done 2 of them since. But yeah, it's something that is something that is regular every week, that you can be guaranteed that we're going to do.
Yeah.
And there's so many questions coming in.
I hated it at first. I didn't hate it, I was just so nervous.
Well, yeah, cameras on you for the
wasn't
first time.
Didn't want to look at, didn't want to speak, didn't want a couple of times. I just said, don't put the camera on me. I just want to be in the background and read out the questions. And I think I was just reading them too fast, wasn't I? That was the general feedback. And yeah.
But you do enjoy it.
I do now. I didn't at first.
No.
Because it was help you, or you couldn't do it because there was nobody else, because we were locked down, weren't we? So
absolutely, yeah.
So yeah. We do love it.
We do love it. And it is because I think we've got a nice little community going on here as well, which I absolutely love as well.
That's the best thing.
There's always like 130, 150 people on.
That's what makes it so much fun. And but when you see the same people and you guys all come back week after week, and it's just amazing because, I don't know, feel like we know you a little bit. And I know sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But it's just...
Absolutely.
You know, we spend this hour together every week, and we're chatting, and
the same lovely people, and it's great to see everyone coming on.
And all the new people as well at Fab, and I'm sure people watch and they don't join in the chat, and that's fine as well, but it's lovely.
And it is hard because it's only on for an hour, and we've been on a bit longer today because we wanted to see about where the internet dropped. But
so yeah, if we're cut off now at 5, we'll just say goodbye now, just in case.
But it is good, and we don't get through a quarter of the questions. And people say, well, can't you do another question and answer all the questions that were asked? But then that's going to be totally impossible. And I started making notes of all the questions in the beginning, thinking we could do another question and answer, answering those. But literally, it'll just be totally all week answering questions. And I do apologise that we don't get through to half the questions, through to the rest of the questions. I do apologise for that. Shirley, thank you very much. We will use that to buy a bottle of Prosecco. We'll put that towards a bottle of Prosecco. So as Paul just says, yes, Paul, your magazines went out today. You have to get on Suri to get these questions in. And I apologise that we don't get through many at all. But yes, it is our wedding anniversary next Monday. Yes, 1 year wedding anniversary. We spent our honeymoon in Paris just before lockdown. We got in there just before everyone got locked down. And I think we were talking about this last night, weren't we? We were saying, I couldn't have wished for a better year, because we've spent the majority of this year locked up together. Locked up in lockdown together.
Yeah.
I didn't say locked up, that felt like we were in prison together. But I mean, lockdown together. Yeah, it's been cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's been cool for me anyway. You're saying that with a bit more.
No, I was reading this. So yeah, no, obviously, yeah. Obviously, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're not doing the books then, because you didn't bring your homework.
Well, do you want to do your book? You do your book today. Come on, then, Romy. Thank you very much.
Romy,
that'll be another bottle of. We're getting to a bottle of champagne now. Can we get any? No.
So I have brought the elusive book I was trying to tell you about last week, which is, it was first published in. Let's full life to it then. 1974.
Wow.
So it's older than me. I don't know how old this particular reprint is. But yeah, it is the Octopus Book, a field guide in colour to minerals, rocks and precious stones.
Let's zoom in on that and we can see. So that's the book that you like, yep.
So this is the book that I like, and I'll just quickly show you. It might be better if I come over there actually, because I can show you on the overhead camera, can't I?
Yeah. Go on, okay. What? Got your mic? Good. What? Yeah.
I'm only dressed for this from the top up.
You do have clothes on below.
I've got clothes on, yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So let's have a look then. So what have we got?
General information, which I'm sure can't be out of date, because even in the 70s...
Well, the rocks, gems and minerals are still the same now as what they were then?
Yeah, well, I hope so. Maybe somebody who knows a lot about it can
Yeah, so there we go.
Can let me know if they think there's anything that might have changed. Billy, you've got that book. Do you like it? What do you think of the book? Oh, Beth, do you like the book? And the reason I like it is there's a bit of general information which is all really good. Doesn't go into massive detail, but what is here is really good. So it's got crystal forms, crystal habits, developments, the different crystal forms, all the general information. But then the reference part of the book and identification tables is just brilliant. So you can look anything up really in the index. God, you can tell how old it is, can't you?
You're starting to feel.
Yeah, and it'll tell you the colour, the luster, the transparency, the Mohs, the SG, cleavage planes, everything really. Crystal form and habit. It's got diagrams. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's nice. Good book.
So it's just such a really quick reference guide, and that's why I love it.
Nice.
Oh, it's got the chemical formula.
Specific
and it's arranged in colour.
Refractive indexes, a whole lot.
Yes, and then there's the section of, where is it? Yeah.
Very good.
So yeah, it's really good.
It's got the hardness.
Yeah.
Luster.
I think I used that in geology degree. Yeah. See if it has tanzanite to see if it's up to date. Oh yeah, let's have a look. I don't think it is up to date, Susan, somehow. Location of minerals. No, it doesn't. Oh no, hang on, that's location of minerals.
No, don't think it has. So it's not that up to date. Perhaps there's editions out there that have been updated.
It does.
It does have tanzanite.
472.
It does have tanzanite. There we go, yeah.
Yep,
that's
tantalite.
That's tantalite.
Oh, my eyes. I must get some new glasses. Yeah, okay, so no. So it's not tremendously up to date, but if there is no comprehensive locking. Oh, see, I need glasses. Yeah, so yeah, it's good. It's good. It'd be better if it was up to date, but it's a really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
And that is your book of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try and find something else for next week.
Okay, you're not on camera now. No one can see what you're dressed like from the waist down. Right then, so it's just 5:05 and the excellent connection still. Thank you very much for the donations today. Really do appreciate it. We stayed on a little bit longer today because of the problems we had last week and the week before with the drop in the internet, and I'm pleased to say we have excellent connection even now, 5:05. So it seems like it was just an isolated case. So thank you all very much for everyone who's been on today.
Billy likes the book. Fab.
It is a good book, but perhaps there are new editions.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. Perhaps there's a later edition. Is that the first print? Was that the first print, or was there a subsequent one, Louise? Let us know.
Yeah, 1974, reprinted 75, 76, 77, 79. First published in 1974, yeah.
So 79 is the latest edition. That is the latest edition, then the 79.
It must be, yeah.
Okay, so 1979, that edition was. There may be some further editions since then, but we don't know. Okay, everyone's working remote. No one wears pants anymore. I hope you're meaning trousers for the people in the UK. Thank you very much for all the anniversary thank yous and congratulations. That's very kind. Good. All right, so I think that's about it.
Yeah, so what's the plan? Next Tuesday, 3:30 or 4?
We'll
I
do
think
it at 4.
3:30 seems...
Yeah, let's go back onto 4
safer.
because when we have the shop open, we're going to have to go back onto 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So 4 o'clock next Tuesday, which is going to be the 23rd of February. That is when we are going to be back up next. Have you welded titanium? I haven't, no. Although, I think I've spot welded it with my puck. Fiona, Matthew, I'd like to know that too. What was that about? Was that about pouring ingots? There's lots of films that I've done on YouTube regarding melting scrap and pouring out ingots on YouTube. So go check those out. I think there's a playlist making a silver ring from scrap, and also drawing down and rolling down wire from scrap that we've melted down in ingots. So pop onto YouTube. There's plenty of films that we have done on YouTube, just basically on YouTube now. Just look on the playlist. There's something out there. Have I used the Go System Tech torch? Rings a bell. I can't remember. I don't think I have. You can make chains without any solder joints. There's like a fish type of chain that we made on At the Bench that did not require any solder joints. So that would be quite good to make the titanium chains from.
Just to confirm, we're going back to 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
From now on. But next week's going to be Tuesday, and then from there on in, it'll be 4 p.m. on a Monday.
So next week, again, sorry we're having to mess around. We did it today because the internet went dodgy last couple of weeks. But next week, we're having, we're delaying it by a day because of our wedding anniversary next Monday. And we'll be on next Tuesday. Yeah. So yes, BDM, it has been an awesome year because we've spent most of the year together. And now Louise is part of the team. We're spending wartime together as well, and it's really good.
Oh,
really good.
It's good, isn't it?
So you're more than welcome for everybody's answers that I've given. Hope I've helped. If I haven't, I'm awfully sorry, but I do try and answer them quite comprehensively, and it's not too long-winded. I try and get something that get a bit exciting, a bit over the top, but I like to give good value for money, if you know what I mean. All right then, Louise, anything else you want to say, my dear?
No, I don't think so. Thank you all for the lovely kind words that you've all been saying. Thank you. Yeah, you're all terribly sweet.
Best way to remove rust from tools, I like going over with some emery paper and then some WD-40 or some light mineral oil. And also some, if you're looking at something, like you say your rolling mill, the rolls are slightly marked. You can always get away with some metal paste to go over the rolls. I think that I did a film on YouTube again, and there's other films on YouTube where people put like a piece of dowel, a bit of cloth over the dowel like that. Yeah, they put some polish on this part, put that through the rolling mill, so obviously the dowel here doesn't go through, and just turn the rolling mill and the rolls turn, they will be polished. And there's a few films on YouTube. I don't think I've done that, but some other people have. So go and check them out. That's about it. So there's no more answers coming now, so I'm awfully sorry. You need to get your questions in really early next time if you want to have your questions answered. So, Louise, anything you want to say? Anything more? Okay.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, just need to say.
You need to remember your book next Tuesday.
I shall remember. Remind me. Book day. Perhaps you've got another book. Or would you like that's the book you like, yeah?
That's that one. I can find
I like that
book.
one.
Yeah, I just thought that was a really handy reference.
This is a nice book. We'll be on next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Make a date in your diary. No one has diaries. Make a date on the calendar.
Got a diary?
You do, don't you? Yeah. Make a date on that thing that you put on the wall, because no one has calendars on their walls anymore, do they? Make a note. See you 4 p.m. next Tuesday. Oh, there we go. I guess your video there is on polishing the rolling mill. There we go. Oh, I'm glad it's still on there. Okay, Louise. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Everyone, take care. See you next Tuesday, 4 p.m. for another question and answer. Come on nice and early to get your questions in on the chat to be guaranteed to have your questions answered. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely week, and we'll all look forward. I look like one of the remember that video we did? The rapping? That was really cool. Get my elbows up. You can actually see my hands. See you next Tuesday, 4 p.m. for another question and answer. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Bye.